You didn't do much today. No heavy work, no long hours, and yet you feel exhausted. Not physically, but mentally, like something drained you quietly. So you ask yourself, how can I be this tired when I did almost nothing? It's a strange kind of tired. You wake up already low on energy. You scroll for a while, maybe switch between a few small tasks. Nothing intense, but your mind never feels still. There's always something running in the background. A thought you didn't finish, a decision you're avoiding, a feeling you keep pushing away. And even when you're resting, you're not really resting because your mind doesn't turn off. It just changes what it's worrying about. You sit in silence, but internally it's crowded. You replay conversations, you imagine future scenarios, you think about things you should be doing. And without noticing, your brain stays active the entire time. So, by the end of the day, you haven't done much physically, but mentally, you've been running all day. Then comes the second layer, the self-talk. I wasted my time. I didn't do anything useful. I'm falling behind. And now your tiredness has weight, not just fatigue, but guilt. This is where it starts affecting more than energy. It changes how you see yourself. You begin to believe you're lazy, unmotivated, undisciplined. But what if that's not accurate? What if your energy isn't low? It's just being used somewhere you don't see. You're not tired because you did nothing. You're tired because your brain never stopped doing something, just not the kind you can measure. This kind of exhaustion comes from invisible work, mental work, emotional work, the kind that doesn't show up on a to-do list. Your brain is constantly scanning, predicting, processing, trying to keep you safe, trying to make sense of things, trying to resolve things you haven't faced yet. So, even when your body is still, your mind is not at rest. And over time, this constant background activity becomes your normal. You don't notice it anymore. You just feel the result. Exhaustion without a clear cause. So the real question isn't, why am I so tired? It's, what is my brain constantly working on? Your brain is not designed to stay idle, especially when something feels unresolved. There's a system in your mind that prioritizes unfinished things. In psychology, this is often linked to the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished tasks stay active in your memory. They loop. They demand attention until they're resolved. Now combine that with emotional avoidance. When something feels uncomfortable, a decision, a conversation, a fear, your brain doesn't process it fully. It holds on to it, keeps it running in the background. Think of it like having too many tabs open in a browser. Each one uses a little energy. One tab is a conversation you're replaying. Another is a task you haven't started. Another is a version of the future you're worried about. Individually, they don't seem like much, but together, they slow everything down and drain your energy. This is cognitive load, the total amount of mental effort your brain is carrying at once. The higher the load, the more you feel exhausted, even if you haven't done anything. Then there's another layer, emotional suppression. When you avoid feeling something, your brain has to actively keep it suppressed. That takes energy. It's like holding a ball underwater. It doesn't disappear. You're just using effort to keep it from coming up. So now, your brain is doing three things: holding unfinished loops, simulating possible outcomes, and suppressing uncomfortable emotions, all at once. And that is exhausting. So how do you reduce this invisible drain? Not by forcing productivity, but by lowering the mental load your brain is carrying. What to do? Pick one small, unfinished thing and complete it fully. Not everything,
just one. Why it works? Closing a loop removes it from working memory, reducing cognitive load. Your brain stops revisiting it. Example: you've been thinking about sending a message. Instead of delaying, you send it. Now that loop is closed, and your mind becomes slightly quieter. What to do? Take 5 minutes and write down everything on your mind. Don't organize it, just list it. Why it works? This externalizes your thoughts, moving them from internal loops to visible structure. It reduces mental clutter. Example: you realize you've been thinking about 3 unrelated things all day. Now they're on paper, not repeating in your head. What to do? Instead of avoiding a feeling, sit with it briefly. No distractions, just notice it. Why it works? Emotions resolve faster when they're processed, not suppressed. This reduces the energy needed to keep them hidden. Example: you feel anxious about something. Instead of escaping it, you sit quietly and acknowledge it. The intensity rises, then slowly falls. What to do? Simplify small choices in your day. What to eat, when to start, what to wear. Why it works? Every decision uses cognitive energy. Reducing unnecessary decisions frees up mental capacity. Example: instead of debating what to do next, you decide in advance. Less thinking, more clarity. What to do? Create moments of actual rest. No phone, no input, just stillness. Why it works? Passive scrolling keeps the brain active. True rest lowers neural activity and allows recovery. Example: you sit quietly for 10 minutes without stimulation. It feels uncomfortable at first, but your mind gradually slows down. So maybe you're not tired because you did nothing. Maybe you're tired because your mind did too much. Invisible work, unfinished thoughts, unfelt emotions, unmade decisions, all running quietly in the background. Think of your mind like a room. Every thought, every worry, every avoided feeling is something left inside it. Over time, the room gets crowded, not chaotic enough to notice, but heavy enough to feel. So the goal isn't to become more productive, it's to clear the room. Slowly, gently, one thing at a time. Next time you feel tired for no clear reason, pause. Not to judge yourself, but to ask, what is my mind still holding? Because your exhaustion might not be a lack of energy, it might be a signal that something inside you has been working quietly for too long. And maybe what you need isn't more effort, just less weight.